All right, this is Rita Root of Creative Atmosphere. And just before I started the video, I thought I had pushed the record button. So I'm glad I didn't go into a little bit more of the detail on the body because I would have missed it. I've been working on his face, and I said I didn't want to focus on his face, but I couldn't stop drawing little details of his face there, the shadowing and so forth. So I caught myself. I looked over at the camera and I didn't see that record button going. So I was like, oh, well, I did it again. I don't do that too often, forget to push the record button, but it happens every once in a while. Just being a dark area of the picture, giving it more value. And even around the eye area here, I'll just put a light mark here. This plane of his face, the cheek area. And even going down towards the mouth has more shadowing. There's a lot of shadow underneath his neck here. So I'm going in heavier with the charcoal pencil here. And this ear is just sticking out. It's not in the shadow. It's sticking away from his head and it's hitting the light there. The light is shining on his ear. So let me put a little bit of definition for the inner folds of his ear. So that makes it stick out some when I put this value around his ear. And on the inside of his ear, you can tell where the light is hitting and where the innermost, well, where the most shadow is on his face. Right there on the bridge of his nose. He's got a mustache there. A little hair under his chin. And I'm going to get that Q-tip and just smooth some of that out. And then move on to his body. The definition there. The wrinkle of his shirt. I'm going to put some, before I do that, I'm going to put the highlights of his face in there too because I don't want it to look flat. I'm going to bring his eye area out because the light is reflecting on the bridge of his eye. I guess you call that the bridge. I'm going to have to do some basic anatomy studying for terminology. And his nose is pretty much in the light there. His lips. Erase a little bit there. Bring it in here. All right, so I'm leaving his face alone right now. That's it for the face. I think that reads well enough for right now. We'll put a little bit more, erase some of that off of the teeth area here. Here we go. That's enough for the face. Let's go back to his shirt now. I'm going to focus on the shadowing in the fabric of the clothes. All right, now, behind his neck here, there's a fold in the clothes, and because his head is covering this part, this is in the shadow. The light is coming from this angle here. So the back of his neck here is in the shadow. I'm going to put a little fold there. Here's the collar of his shirt. And underneath that collar, there is shadow. All right, and so here's the other side of his collar. Goes in there. Underneath his neck, there's a lot of shadow there. behind his ear. Going back in, giving it a little bit more definition. And let's put this shirt collar in here. There's a line here that's a fold in the shirt. All right. And there's a fold here in the material of the shirt. It's a little bit more shadow right there. Let me get my Q-tip and blend this in some, bring it out a little bit. Not much. And then underneath his arm, of course, there is a lot of shadow here. One fold there going over. And let's put that cuff there. The cuff of his sleeve. There's pretty much total darkness right there around his arm, well, his hand. Under here, very shadowed, very dark. The light is in this direction, coming from this direction here. So all this is in shadow. There's a fold in the clothes. It lightens up here because the light is hitting this area here. So my value, I'm going to lighten up with the pressure of the charcoal stick and blend it out a little bit more. There is shadow here underneath his chest area. Not as heavy. So I want to get that Q-tip and blend this out a little bit as best as I can. I don't want it to match the darkness that is behind or underneath his arm area here. So I'm just moving it out. You can see that it's a shadow. And a little bit of the charcoal that I have left over on the Q-tip, I can sometimes just touch it there and use that in this area here. And I'm going to go back in with my eraser, the kneaded eraser to be exact, and lighten up this area as well. Put a little bit of highlight in there. Even here on this back, I don't want this as dark either. I'm going to get rid of those hard lines because the light is hitting these areas here. Hard lines be gone as of now with the kneaded eraser. And that helps. There's a little light on his shoulder here, so I'm going to lighten this area up just a tad bit. Now our shirt is gray. This area is a little lighter. So let me finish with the shadowing because I've got to get all this shadowing to read through from this area here. And there's some folds in the shirt there coming around. A lot of material gathered up, bunched up here. Okay, so let's go to this side of his arm. This is a tad bit darker over here, but not dark as this side here. So I'm just going to lightly add some color, some value to this area here. And then smooth it out with the Q-tip. All right, so, and I could even add more value to this arm here because it's not in full light, but there is a mid-tone to it. So I want to see if I can get that mid-tone to ring through. So from here, I'm going to smooth it out once again. There is value here on this sleeve. So now I'm going to smooth that out with the Q-tip because it looked a little too harsh. So it's still there. And I can lift even more out with this small eraser here. Shape it up a little bit. And the line was just a little too hard, so I softened it up a bit. And go in here and give a little bit more value right there. I'm not going to worry about it, but I'll come back and do the hands shortly. Let's see what my time is looking like. Okay, I got 9 more minutes to mess with this. And then I'll come back a little bit later and finish the rest of the video. So let's put a little bit more color here, a little value. And then we're going to smooth it out. This value here. Value here. There's a mid-tone value in there. And then let's put that in here. This is a HB value charcoal stick pencil. Shall I say charcoal pencil HB value. And I'm just applying light pressure. So this is a 6B. And the value is a bit darker than the HB charcoal pencil. All right, so let's go to the pants. The pants are a bit more darker, so I'm going to use the 6B pencil here. And there is light hitting this part of the thigh here. In the knee area, we've got some folds of the pants here. So I'm just going to add some value all in here. And then get my Q-tip and smooth this out. Getting rid of the harsh lines, the hard lines. I won't say harsh, because sometimes they're needed. But right now, and right here in this area, we don't need the hard lines. I want to just smooth everything out and get my 6B charcoal pencil and put in more value here. This is the calf here. And then this pants leg, that kind of flare out. All right, and let's put the value in here. We've got a lot of shading right in this area here. And underneath this fold, There's another fold here and here. And then this has a lot of value in it there. Bring it up this way a little bit. And let's get that Q-tip, the handy Q-tip, to smooth everything out. I have a blending stick that works just as well as the Q-tip, but I don't know, I have more Q-tips on my easel here. It's readily available. So I just grabbed my Q-tips. I kind of like using them. And that's why I use those a bit more than my blending sticks. But I've got my blending sticks somewhere. I've got to get some new ones when I go to the art store. On my next trip, I want to get another set of blending stumps. Okay, and then let's see, blend this other area here. There's a bit more, let's see. This one's a tad bit lighter than the other leg here. So, under here it's dark. Let's get that blending stick and blend this in. I said blending stick, but it's the Q-tip. It's a blending stick as well, but that's the purpose I'm using this Q-tip for. So I'm just lightly applying the Q-tip to the charcoal pencil and smoothing everything out. And I'm going to get rid of this harsh line here, this hard line, shall I say. Right here, because there is a little play with the light on this thigh here. So I'm lightening it up with this kneaded eraser. Let me clean this eraser some by stretching it out. See how dark it was in there? So I'm going to clean it out by just pulling it apart. This is a kneaded eraser. You see how it changes colors there? Uh-oh. This looks a little better. All right, so now let me clean this area up here as well. But let me also go back over to this right thigh. This thigh here is his right thigh. And just lighten that value up just a tad bit. And I'm going to get my electric eraser for this area here. Because there was, I'll go up a little bit more here. There was a need for separation in the value. That was a negative shaped area there. And I wanted to make sure that that's defined, so I can actually put a little bit more color here, because this is the darkest area where both legs meet up, and define that area there and right here, and just put a little bit more. Where's the 6B charcoal? and put some more, just a tad bit more color in this area here, a little bit more value. Right in this area here. Okay, so quickly rubbing in with the Q-tip here, smoothing this area out. Okay, and right here, I want to lift the color out with this eraser here, electric eraser. Because that is a fold of the shirt that's going down in that area. And I'm going to define it a little bit more with a little bit more value in there. But that is one of the lighter tones in the shirt there. This one as well. There's a little bit of light hitting that wrinkle, this fold, shall I say. All right. And there is light on this fold here. Okay, so I'm going to stop for right now. Let's see one more thing I could make a little bit better. Okay, really, I'm going to stop right now. Oh, one more thing. Okay, really, I'm stopping right now, and I'll be back with the continuation of the video. See, I have so much fun when I draw, and I know that I should be getting out the door, getting ready for work. But I don't know, it's kind of hard to stop right now. But yeah, this is it. This is it, really. This is it. I'll be back. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so now got this hand drawn in. I'm going to go to the other side over here and put in this hand. It's pretty square, the shape of his hand here. And I'm just going to use these cylinder shapes to get the gist of his fingers. 1, 2, 3, and 4 here. Okay, and there's that one. 3, and so this one's a little closer to this one. And this one stops about right there. And then the shadowing right there. Boy, that hand looks awful big. I gotta take it down some. This thumb is huge. Stop that thumb at about right there. And right there. Erase some of that there. And I'm going to get my Q-tip and just shade in this area here. Let's see how that looks. A little odd, but I've been working on, well, a commitment to get better at drawing hands, feet, so on and so forth. Okay. So I'm going to leave that one like that, and then I'm going to get the charcoal stick and darken the value of the back of the hand a little bit more, and then blend it out. All right. Smooth it out with the Q-tip. So you get the idea that that is his hand. I get the idea. Hopefully you will too. Let me erase a little bit of this here. A little bit of this hand. I'm going to erase it here. All right. Shade it here a little bit. Let's see, what's the, I think the body is good. As far as the shading on the clothes, the folds of the shirt. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Put a little bit more value here. Bring this up some if I can. There. All right. And let's smooth this area out just a little bit more. This is a harsh line here. I just want to blend it in a tad bit more. Blend it right there. And I think that's okay. I'm going to darken his hair up a little bit more. Let me get my 6B charcoal pencil here and darken his hair. Give him a defined hairline there. He has a low haircut. And a little definition right there. Uh-oh, I'm tearing the paper, just a little bit too much pressure. I'm using newsprint paper with the charcoal. And I'm going to darken it up around this area here too. Around the ear and behind it here. In front and behind the ear. Behind the neck here as well. Behind the head, there we go. Under his chin. Okay, I'm going to leave this. I'm going to put a little bit more value here. Smooth it out a little bit with the Q-tip. Well, this is Rita Rue signing off for now, but before I do, I'd like to say thank you to all my recent subscribers to the channel. It's much appreciated. A heartfelt thank you to you. And if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and then ring that notification bell so you can be notified when I post the most recent videos. Once again, Rita Rue signing off for now. Bye-bye.